Hello, hello. Tonight's episode is Jolly Breakthroughs. Tonight, I am going to teach you a unique tool that will enable you to show clients how they can turn their hellish holidays into holiday hell yeah. So this is a breakthrough tool. That's why it's called a Jolly Breakthrough. And this tool is meant to be something that you can use on yourself. And we will be practicing that together tonight. And you also can use with your clients. So I'm excited to get started. So since the holidays are in fact here, and they are literally upon us, let's jump right in so that you can learn this breakthrough tool. And you can also share this with other people, which it actually reminds me, if you could share this right now with anybody out there in your world, a colleague, a friend that could find this tool to be useful to them, I would greatly appreciate it so we can spread the information and the wealth out there. So this tool should only take about 10 minutes for me to teach. It's pretty quick. It maybe takes 15 at the most. But it can make a world of difference for all of your clients and also for you during this holiday season. So yes, welcome to Therapist Skills Training with Beth Miller. This is free live training to help all of us be awesome therapists, coaches, and counselors. And it's every Tuesday at 7:30 on Instagram and every Tuesday at 8 o'clock on Facebook. So if you also did not catch any of the posts or the ads, I just want to mention that there is a huge Black Friday discount for the Advanced Holistic Counseling and Coaching Certification. We just put that out this week. It's $2,500 off of the course, which is massive. It's a 9-month intensive. It's a tremendous amount of training and a huge amount of information. It's just amazing. We do EFT, IFS, tons of holistic tools. It's just huge. So if you're interested in that, please go to the website, positivecounselingli.com, or send me an email at institute@positivecounselingli.com. Okay, so the holidays could be really hard for people. And I think it's obvious to therapists very often why, but we should just kind of unpack it just a teeny bit to remind ourselves what they might be experiencing and also what we might be experiencing. So in your own personal life, you might find that the holidays are difficult for you, or they might be just hard for you because you're a therapist, which means you're constantly interfacing with everybody else's stuff, which means if your clients are having a more intense season, that might be reflecting in your sessions as well. So what is hard about the holidays for your clients, maybe for yourself? And I encourage you to throw in the chat any of the things that are hard about the holidays for you, and anything that you think is hard for your clients. So it doesn't have to be about you; it could be about your client. But just see if you could kind of add to that and throw all the things in the comments that you think are hard for people. So a big one is change in routine. Just how change in routine for whether you have kids or jobs. How that affects people. There's a lot of rushing around that tends to make people more frazzled. Change in food and alcohol consumption is huge for people without even realizing. Sometimes people are unconscious about how food and alcohol is affecting their mood and their energy levels. But also many people are particularly triggered by all of the holiday food and all of the alcohol that's around them. And that can actually be very difficult for them to be socializing when there's so many food triggers or alcohol triggers. There's also a lot of change in people's normal self-care behaviors. So maybe the things that they normally do to be able to manage how they feel, like, exercising or drinking water or meditating or taking walks in nature. If they're not doing those because of the change in routine, that can make a big impact on their mood. And how they're doing, and also how the resiliency that they have to be able to meet the other challenges in their holiday. Family events, interfacing with family dynamics, falling into old patterns, sort of doing what sometimes feels like regressing when we're around family, dealing with the dysfunction of others, sometimes can be really hard for our clients or for ourselves. And then there's also just grief, right? The grief about loved ones that are not present or life conditions that are or are not present anymore There's overstimulation, being overstimulated and overscheduled, and there's understimulation. There's not having any friends or family to spend time with, not having plans, feeling depressed. So all of these things can be happening for our clients, or just for some of them. Some of them may not, experience the holidays so intensely. So your sessions with your clients during this time of year probably have a lot of content that is focused on helping clients to be able to manage these challenges. So as long as you're asking questions that are helping to prompt them to think about the holidays and how they may not need to prepare around them. But some of the skills that you may be adding in might be DBT skills, like a coping ahead skills, setting boundaries, radical acceptance and changing expectations of family members, mindfulness, keeping to structure and routines in order to be able to keep more mood equilibrium. And all of these things, these are just sort of basic tools that most of us might use every day, but especially around the holidays. These are very super valuable skills and tools to be sharing with our clients and helping them with. But there is one tool that really stands out for me because it creates an actual breakthrough for clients that can help them change how they experience the holidays in general, and also how they maybe experience anything. Once they learn how to use this tool for the holidays, they frankly could be using it on anything. And I call this a mini vision statement. So let's talk about what it is, and then I will dive right into you using it. We'll practice it together, and that way in 10 or 15 minutes you can go off and start using this with other people in your life. So what it is, a mini vision statement is a short narrative statement or paragraph that helps the client focus on what they actually want, or what they want their holiday to be like. In this particular case, this mini little vision statement is going to tell the story of what the client wants and how they want to feel. So why it works is this little paragraph, this little narrative we're going to create, is because, like most people, clients typically focus on what they do not want. That's just like heavy focus for human beings, is they focus on what they don't want. So for example, in sessions, they might be saying things like, I hate it when my sister-in-law tells me to bring dessert last minute, or yuck, my gross uncle is going to be there, or, my mother's going to criticize me to no end because I gained weight again, or everyone's going to be wasted, and since I'm sober now, this is going to suck for me. So it would be common for clients to present with a problem or say, like, this is what I don't like about the holidays, or this is what's going to be hard for me about the holiday. And that their focus is going to be on what they don't want. Okay. The mini vision statement creates a breakthrough for clients and also for ourselves because it focuses exclusively on what the client does want. Right? So it shifts attention dramatically from what the client doesn't want and puts their focus and their attention on what they do want. And in doing that, it creates a tremendous amount of clarity for the client, empowerment, and puts their energy and their behaviors on what they actually desire to experience versus on what they don't want to experience. Okay? So how does it work? How are we going to use the mini vision statement? So once you write the mini vision statement with your clients, you're going to give it to them and you're going to ask them to read it every day, preferably in the morning and in the evening. I like to do it 2 times a day. And then also to take any action steps that are actually written in it. And I will give you an example of it. We'll work through it together. So don't worry, I'm just laying the groundwork for you. So how are you going to do it? How do you create the mini vision statement? I usually ask people to show up to these therapist skills training sessions with a notebook. So if you have not grabbed one yet, now would be a perfect time. And if you do not have a notebook to kind of keep your running notes, then you could just use any piece of paper would be fine. And a pen obviously would be very useful. And so the best way to practice any tool is to do it on yourself, and to do it on yourself so frequently that it becomes kind of rote or easy to use with your clients. But it is one of the best ways to be able to kind of really walk your talk as a therapist, is to know that it works because you use it on you first, right? And that's one of the philosophies behind the Advanced Holistic Counseling and Coaching certification. It's the cornerstone of all of the training that I do with therapists. And I highly recommend that as you sort of gain more skills, that you are constantly practicing them on you so that you can really experience both the growth and the shift from them, but you also are able to really talk to the client about it in a way that is experiential and that you know kind of what's hard about it, what works about it, what's easy, where the tricks are. That gives you a lot of credibility in your sessions with clients. Okay, so hopefully you all have your pieces of paper now, and I'd like you to write on the top, like the beginning of a paragraph sentence would say, I am so happy now that. I'm so happy now that. Okay, so I am so happy now that. And now what's going to happen is that you are going to write the story, a paragraph, a brief narrative of what you want your holiday season to be like. And remember, most people, maybe including you, are accustomed to thinking about what they don't want. So this is a big shift to be focusing on what we do want. And that's all we're going to write about in this narrative is what we do want. So for example, you're going to include like, what do you want to be doing in your holiday season? Or maybe even just for Thanksgiving. How do you want to spend your time? How do you want to feel? So let me give you an example. This would be, this is basically a great example of what a mini vision statement would be for Thanksgiving. I'm so happy now that I'm truly enjoying the holidays. I took Wednesday off to make everything easier. I'm going to take a walk every day to keep myself really grounded, and it really helps me feel relaxed and positive. I give all of my kids tasks to do, and we're all helping prepare while listening to holiday music. It's fun. We get to my family's on time on Thanksgiving, and whenever I need to step outside for a deep breath of air, I just do it. Surprisingly, I feel really relaxed, and we have a lot of laughs at dinner. I drink a lot of water and I limit my alcohol. This helps me to eat only a small dessert. The next day, I feel energized and I think, wow, what a great holiday this year. I really enjoyed it. Okay, so what you may have noticed when you were listening to that is I targeted behaviors in the vision statement that are going to help me have a great holiday. For example, I wrote, I'm so happy that I'm enjoying the holidays. I took Wednesday off to make everything easier. So that's like, I'm going to take the day off. That's going to make my life easier. I'm going to take a walk every day to keep myself grounded because that really helps me to stay relaxed and positive. I anticipated being stressed about getting everything done. So instead, in my vision statement, it says, I give all of my kids tasks to do, and we all help prepare while listening to holiday music. It's fun. So if it's normally a really stressed out experience getting ready for the holiday, you'd be trying to envision, how can I do this in a way that would be not stressed out? Okay, let me give the kids all something to do. Let's put holiday music on. Let's all have a lot of fun doing it. We get to my family's on time, and whenever I need to step outside for a deep breath of air, I just do it. In other words, if I'm with my family and I normally get stressed out, well, let me pre-plan and think about in my mini vision statement how I'm going to step outside, take a deep breath, let myself relax, and then I'll come back in. So instead of saying, we don't put in a vision statement something like, my aunt's not annoying this year, or my sister-in-law wasn't a jerk. We don't write that in a vision statement. Instead, we say, everybody got along well, and every time I felt like I needed to, I went and took a breath outside. That's the way we tell the story in a positive way that helps to keep our focus on what we want and not on what we don't want. Okay, so that's an example of what that mini vision statement would sound like. And hopefully, as you guys are sitting here and listening to me, you're starting to jot down a couple of ideas about what yours would look like, because we want you to focus first on you and maybe creating your own mini vision statement for yourself. So, and anybody that wants to throw any of ideas in the comments or any questions about how to do this, please feel free before we wrap up. I'll give a couple of tips before we go in just a minute. So the main goal here is to write a paragraph that has, I am so happy now that, and then tell the story of the holiday or the holiday week and talk about how you want it to be. Focus on almost entirely, if not entirely, on things going the way that you want them to be, including the action steps that you'll take in order to have the holiday you want, versus focusing so much on what will go wrong in the holiday. Okay, so here's a couple of tips. And again, feel free to throw any questions in the comments or any suggestions or any examples from your own mini vision statement that you might be creating right now. For those of you who did the exercise, please also feel free to just throw into the comments how it feels to focus on what you want and to create that mini vision statement. When you're creating these with clients, here's a couple of important tips. One is that the client and you, as you're working together to create the mini vision statement, the client is talking and you're doing the writing, right? So you ask them, okay, we're going to make this mini vision statement about your weekend or about your holiday. Let's try to figure out what it is that you want. We'll gain clarity about what you want and also all the things that you're going to do to take great care of yourself, and we're going to put it all in there. And then as they're talking, you're writing it down. And you may have to cross out a couple things because some sentences will get kind of jumbly, but you're going to write this down and now you'll have a paragraph at the end of it. You might prompt some questions along the way, so what are you doing? How are you feeling? What if the holiday were to go the way you really want it to be, what would be happening, right? You could prompt them a little bit. And then just a paragraph is necessary. Again, it's a mini vision statement. And then at the end, when you guys are done, you read it back to them, let them hear it, ask them how it sounds, ask them if there's anything that they want to change or add to it, and then you actually hand it to them. Or if you want to keep that one for your notes, you ask them to take a picture on their phone. And you ask them to read it every day, at least one time in the morning, and then preferably another time at night before they go to bed. It will keep them focused. It will help them remember the action steps that they need to take and that they want to take in order to be able to have the holiday they really want to have. And it also is really a tool for energy manifesting that most people find to be kind of amazingly powerful in how it actually works. So any questions you have, please throw them in the comments. I hope that you find this tool to be useful to you, so please always feel free to reach out to me and let me know. Share this with any of your colleagues or your or your clients or your friends so that they can use it too. It's really effective. It creates a huge breakthrough for clients usually, and also maybe for you when you use it as well. And again, anybody that wants to apply to the certification course in Advanced Holistic Counseling and Coaching, which is a 9-month course with me, it's just an incredible experience. We teach IFS, energy healing, EFT, tons of great psychotherapy tools, life coaching tools. It's just super comprehensive. There's a huge Black Friday discount that is $2,500 off. So now would be the time to check that out. It's at positivecounselingli.com, or you can email me at institute@positivecounselingli.com. I wish you a wonderful holiday next week. Please let me know if I can help you in any way, and have an awesome next week or two. Be well.